We live in a day and age where Battlefield is considered a tactical military shooter. I don't know when that happened exactly because, as far as I'm aware, Battlefield, apart from its very early days, has never really been considered that. I feel like it's always been goofy in some capacity, some unrealistic aspects to it, same as Call of Duty. If you wanted a military sim, you have your games like Hell Let Loose or Arma or I Medal of Honor. I'd say back then probably Medal of Honor. I played a smidge of Medal of Honor, and you had SOCOM. Was that also Medal of Honor? That's been decades now. Things blur together, things fog, you forget things. I digress. Regardless, so we finally got some footage of the slide changes coming in Battlefield 6, and not too happy, Bob. I am not too happy. And I'll show the footage here. I ripped it from Enders off of YouTube, or not Twitter, and he gives credit to the original person that clipped it, so I'll try and put all the links to all the respectful and respected people. I just woke up, so ignore the nasaliness and the, speech pattern issues, but regardless, I'll put all the credit that I can down below for you. But in these changes, basically sliding and jumping has insanely low accuracy now. And I gotta say, the beta was near perfect, man. The beta for the Battlefield 6, I don't know why I phrased it like that, with that kind of weird accent. Anyways, the Battlefield 6 beta was near perfect, man. It really was. It was perfect. Down to the last minute detail, it was perfect, man. Yeah, it had a couple issues here or there or whatever, but it wasn't like anything too extreme. Like, genuinely, the beta could have dropped as the full game and would have been fine. Now, skill gap is basically non-existent, I'd say. Because here's the thing, right? People will say, oh, but the skill gap should be aiming and positioning, but then you get people that can aim, people that can flick between targets, and then they get called cheaters. So aiming is clearly not something people want there to be a skill gap on, because they'll lose because they can't aim. Can't aim without aim assist, which, by the way, Battlefield is having like very minimal aim assist, which is very nice, very good. COD has way too much aim assist. I hate the aimbot aim assist on there. You have to be utterly brain rotted to think that that's good for you or good for the game. I digress. But I'm concerned for not just Battlefield going forward, but a lot of what's going forward, because you see Black Ops 7 also making changes, an adjustment to Battlefield 6, which is good. It's good. Competition like this is healthy. The problem being is that I'm worried which crowd they're listening to. Are they listening to the crowd that will keep playing the game, regardless, honestly, or are they listening to the crowd that will put in a few hours a week at best and then stop playing in a few months at best? And Battlefield 6 is already like the slowest Battlefield without your knife out. And that thing's getting a battle royale, and now sliding is nerfed. Jumping is nerfed in terms of your accuracy while doing either action. So we're basically going to be getting Modern Warfare 2019 again. Because people are just saying, oh, but it's just about positioning and all. Yeah, sitting at the back of the map, going 3 and 7. Dude, I saw somebody on Redacted go 10 and 43. Okay, I can't even begin to get into that mindset there, but it's just even if you just play for fun, right? And everybody has their own definition of fun. For me, I don't really enjoy fun all that much, if that makes sense. I prefer optimization. My enjoyment comes from optimizing runs and stuff like that. But it's just, I just don't understand the enjoyment of sitting in a corner for 40 minutes, maybe getting a couple kills, and then mostly just dying and respawning and walking straight back to the same corner. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. There's no logical conclusion that I can come to in my brain where that makes sense at all. It just doesn't. It can't work in my head, especially on like you even see it on maps like Nuketown, and there's just no. I feel like as we progress further down this timeline, well, there's a lot of issues. Obviously, you know, we're kind of on a collision point of no return and everything's crumbling around us, but barring that, right, I feel like specifically for gaming here, I feel like how do I put this? I feel like the general audience, as stupid as they normally are, have also gotten just worse. It's like we've regressed. Because you would always have the people that would sit at the top of the map or the back of the map, whatever the case, you know, depending on where it is, like Firestorm on Battlefield, you know, people would sit at the top peak of the mountain or on top. Nobody really actually sat on top of the pyre thingamabob because you could just exhaust the flames and burn everybody that was there, but you'd have some people up there. It was mostly the peak of the mountain. Either mountain, you'd have people laying on it. Mostly the American spawn. I want to say it was the American spawn. But regardless, like, you've always had people like that, but I feel like it's just gotten worse and worse and worse over the years. It just, I don't understand why. I mean, I call it the Warzone effect. I think it really blew up with Warzone. But you're always demonized. You're always crucified. You're always villainized because you can aim, you can move, you have eyes, you have ears. It's just so tiresome. Really is. It gets really tiresome having to explain to somebody that you're not cheating, you just have ears and eyeballs, and you can hear them shooting an unsuppressed weapon in addition to there being, you know, a mini-map ping. And you feel like you shouldn't have to explain these things to people, and then you do. And then you assume maybe they're just brand new at FPSs, right? Maybe they chose Rainbow Six Siege as their first ever FPS experience. What a great idea. Fantastic idea, even, you know? But then you realize that they've been playing FPSs, multiple FPS. And I think it always comes back to this idea of, when do we learn it just ain't for us? You know? I guess somebody out there will probably say a bit ironic saying that and then complaining about the movement nerfs, but you're all predictable, so it doesn't matter anyways. But I don't know. I just think that it's a sad day. It's a sad day. You know, we had such a beautiful beta, and then it got kind of ruined a bit. I'm already not looking forward to that, like, largest map they've ever made. I've seen gameplay of it. I'm not really looking forward to it because I know exactly how people are going to play it. Nobody's going to move. You're going to have the few people that are moving. Most of the time it's just going to be vehicles, which, hey, I'm fine with that, honestly. You know, the vehicle people can have their vehicle map. That's fine by me. But for infantry on that map, I just know it's nobody's going to move, dude. It's just, you're going to be walking around for 15 minutes trying to find somebody because nobody's going for points. Nobody's doing anything. They're just sitting in a little corner or up on the highest peak or whatever the case may be. And they're just not going to do anything. And then they're going to, you know, have their 40 minutes of 3 and 7 and call it a good day. It'll be the most boring match you've ever played. I tell you what I miss. I tell you what, boy. I tell you what. I miss King of the Hill on Cairo. I miss that. That was so fun. It was so great, dude. And while we're on this topic of the beta, people would complain that the maps were too small in the beta. You want to know why? It was to force engagement so they could gather proper data about the game. Because betas, fun fact, aren't meant to be demos for you to try the game if you like it or not. They're meant to gather information and make changes before the full release. What? Crazy, I know, but that's how it functions. It's not a demo, it's a beta. It's to give feedback, see how things function, see what needs to be changed, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be nerfed, what needs to be buffed. That's how it works. And apparently that's just lost knowledge on people. I don't understand how people with access to the most knowledge ever in human history can be so stupid. But here we are. It's pretty clear that there's a lot of people out there that are utterly stupid, despite having pretty much all of humanity's knowledge at their fingertips. Which is a couple presses of, but you don't even have to press. You can just say, hey Google, hey Siri. I hope I activated your phone, so it'd be really funny. But you can just say that, and then you can say whatever you want to find. And people are still just so ignorant and stupid and blind. Guess ignorant and blind can kind of be the same thing, but we've gone really off topic here. We really have. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the times things have far more grand implications than people realize. Because people oftentimes think on such a small scale compared to the large scale that, is at play, that being the world. And all the little dominoes that are set up and falling all the time. There's a lot more. There's, this domino falling is a warning sign of maybe the 7th or 8th domino down the line. You know what I'm saying? And all those dominoes in between, maybe some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are just whatever. But it leads to that 8th domino, and that 8th domino is a big no-no. You see what you get the metaphor that I'm going for here? You seeing what I'm painting here? I don't know. That's my rant on the changes coming and how I feel about them, amongst a little bit of other things. So yeah, feel free to subscribe. I upload daily. I try to, at least. It's a little rough right now. We've hit a little bit of a rough patch with content. Not too much out there, honestly, that people want to see. And then again, YouTube kind of has like this weird thing going on with viewership. I don't know, but I feel like I've noticed it. My consistent viewership is down. It sucks, but here we are. Hopefully Battlefield 6 won't be so bad. Hopefully I'm just being a drama queen. And, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. All right. See ya. Stay hydrated. Stay moisturized. Bye. Mwah.